still going? Yeah, I'm not showing much camera. I might have a half hour, 45 minutes. So I'll probably turn it off for part of the race so we can save it for other things. No, you are very stable. A lot of people get in this boat if they're used to like a big recreational boat. They get, you know, they feel like tippy. But yeah, you got natural stability. So this drink isn't terribly like sweet or anything. It just has complex carbs. It has, instead of sugar, it has some other, a better kind of a natural sweetener, like your sucralose or something. Nope, not doing good blowing snot. Normally I'm pretty good at blowing snot. And then if you're feeling hot, one of the good ways to do it is to tip your head in the water, you know, and just yeah, it looks like we're bringing up the rear. That's okay. Pressure's off. Now we can talk about more stuff. So if you think about paddling, your biggest muscle is going to be your stomach, right, and your back, and like your lats, you know, your muscles under your armpit. Okay?
Right.
Your forearms and biceps really are only good for maybe 10 minutes at the most. You know, you wear you out. That's why when you're going through the motion of the stroke, you want to have very little motion at your elbow. It should all be as a matter of fact, the sensation should be like you're driving your paddle down. And where you should feel it, you should feel almost like your butt coming off the seat. So if you can drive down, and so your feet are against the foot brace, right? So you're kind of like driving down. You feel your butt maybe lifting off the seat, just not off the seat, but you know, just less weight on your butt. That's kind of where you want to shoot for. And we also always talk about your belly button should be out, right? You want your posture good. If you don't think about it, us humans tend to slouch all the time, right? But you want to have good posture, and that's going to, biomechanically, that's going to give you your best opportunity to get those big muscles into your stroke. So your arms are just really connecting your body to the paddle. That makes any sense. And you want to kind of feel as you're driving down, you should feel it in your stomach. So if you don't have a six-pack, you know, paddling for a couple months, your six-pack will come out, because that's really where it works, is your abdominals a lot. Now, I've noticed that your depth of your paddle is perfect. Okay, a lot of people tend to bury their paddle, and I do too sometimes. So you're choking up on your paddle, like your bottom hand is, you know, a good 8 inches from the bottom. That's okay. Now your torso is fairly long, which is actually good. That's very good. You got a lot of leverage. So yeah, and what you want to do also is think about how you put your paddle in. You're actually pretty good right now. You're actually getting your paddle in as soon as it comes up. But let me demonstrate something so you turn around and look. So this is called fanning. I'll overemphasize it. Fanning is when you go like this. You take all this energy to go up, and you don't get in paddling here. So you're better off, like some people slice in from the side a little bit. So the very point that you're up the highest, get it in, right? I mean, I'm over exaggerating. And everything that you do, you always want to like have some style with it, right? You want to develop your own style. So some people paddlers look all kinds of difference, but the biomechanics is always the same. So, but you're going to have your own style based on how your body's put together, right? Some people will, you know, like there's one guy in Michigan, he paddles like this, right?
Way up there.
He comes up, but you think about it, it's almost the best way to get it in, right?
Straight down. Okay.
And the thing is, see, your forward motion only has to go from your ankle to your knee. You almost want to keep, like here I'm paddling, I'm going at my ankle, and my hand is actually coming out right here. Right? So that's kind of like the efficient stroke, but like today when we're cruising, we don't want to kill ourselves, it's okay to go up a little bit further and back a little bit, because it's a more relaxing stroke. But if you're always constantly going like this, it's the most efficient, but it's going to put out the most calories. So, but every once in a while, you know, maybe try that. Just kind of shorten up your stroke. 60 to 72 strokes a minute. You know, 1,000, 2 1,000. That's 60. 72 is stroke, stroke, stroke. 72 is about the fastest you want to go. So 72, you count 12 counts in 10 seconds. That's 72. So sometimes we'll time ourselves. So we'll count for 10 seconds. If you count 12, that means you're doing 72. So that's basically the ideal stroke rate for the most efficient paddle. Another thing too, I didn't see a twist in your paddle. Some people go like this. You can tell because they rooster tail at the end. For some reason, they like to go like this. I don't. That's a bad habit you don't have. Okay. So when you come out, a lot of times I do the opposite. So I think about pushing with this pinky. When I put out, I want to make sure I'm actually pushing the opposite way instead of gripping like this, right? I'm actually trying to, you know, kind of fight that natural tendency to twist your paddle. Because if you're going like this, that energy going up, that ain't physics. I mean, that's just wasted, right? What you want to think is that you're actually in concrete, or if you have a stick, right? You actually want to think of it. You have a stick, poking the stick in the ground, and then you're pulling the boat past the stationary point. It's not really slipping your paddle in the water, although it doesn't hurt. You don't really lose that much energy when you hear a lot of noise. It's almost like you do a lot of mountain biking.
Not a lot, but
okay. Well, you know the concept of gears, right?
Right.
So first gear is like reining gear, right? That's kind of like slipping your paddle through the water, right? You're paddling fast, but it's not really making you can't go fast at that stroke, right?
Yeah.
Whereas you have a long, deep stroke, that's like tennis because it's hard. It feels hard on your muscles, but you can get the boat moving faster. So you always want to, like, efficiency-wise, go between first gear, that, and like 6th or 7th gear is kind of like that. What I told you about that. It's kind of that shorter stroke where you're driving down and getting out quickly.
Yeah.
But it's always a balance, you know. And there are sometimes it's so important to keep on a wake that you just throw all that information out the window and do whatever you can.
Stay on that wake.
But most of the time, but then you're like burning too many chips, right? So we have so many chips to burn during a race. So if you're shoveling in your chips and burning them too quick at the beginning, you won't have any at the end. So you have to manage your energy. But that's what's great about these heat drinks is in the old days, 30 years ago, we had to eat everything that we were going to consume calorie-wise, right? Because most of the time we drank this stuff with a lot of sugar in it, so it wouldn't really help you too much in the long term. So the last hour of a 4-hour race, you're burning like, you know, fat and muscle. It's kind of rough.
Yeah.
But with these energy drinks, it is such a slow release energy, you're actually recovering as you're paddling. So I've done these 12-hour races where after 6 hours, I couldn't believe how good I felt like I was just starting over again. It was great. So anyway, but that's so today's nutrition and what we know, you can go just about forever in paddling. I mean, your butt's going to get sore and stuff like that. But, it just makes it amazing. Of course, you know, it's mainly about just being outside and meeting people you haven't seen for a while because, you know, not a lot of money in canoe racing. So, but it's fun. I mean, my brother and I have gotten to the level where I can actually go away for a weekend and bring back money, you know, when there's money races. But you can't really make a living at it. But me some time at the end of the race. So you say you were in Florida before?
Yeah, I grew up in Florida.
When did you come up this way?
About 4 years ago.
Yeah. And what was your major while you were in college?
Industrial design.
Okay, industrial design.
Yeah.
So you had like Tom Ask?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Now you're working full time through college?
Right. At this point, it's more like I'm at the college with Makerspace, and I take classes on the side.
Great.
I'm at the Makerspace full time.
Now do you get free tuition because you're...
Right. That's two classes. Yeah. 6 credit hours.
Just keep going on past. I'll grab the work here. I think I can. I'll just drop it off. Yeah, I went to Penn College free because my dad taught there. So you probably knew that, right? Any of your dependents would go free too. Then I transferred after 2 years, because Penn College was only 2 years, up to Rochester Institute of Technology for electrical engineering. And then I had to pay my way through there. But student loans and co-op, I did some co-op, basically internship at IBM, and they paid good, so I was able to, that took care of about half my tuition, and I got loans. So. It is a cool little thing to have at your boat launch, a plane fuselage. I think you need one for the makerspace.
We do, honestly. It's so much fun.
Yeah. I mean, just sitting in there, you know, just goofing around. You have to put that on the list for Cap. Get fuselage.
We'll put it on the list when cost of renovations come back around.
Maybe when you add a second floor, that might be good for the second floor, when you have more room. You put it on wheels, you know, and just kind of push each other around. Better yet, have a zip line between the makerspace and the ACC in an airplane fuselage.
We might have something to say about that. There's some really nice places along here. They do a nice job of fixing them up. But it's a lot of work along the river because every winter it's a complete mess afterwards. But the ice just scours everything away. Amy and I were looking at a river lot last year, and I think it's still for sale, so maybe you can help me talk her into it. But don't you think we need a river lot? You know, Yeah, you really do.
You can come down and hang out, help us keep it up. But actually, the place we're looking at is like livable. It's got a small block like building. Even has well water, and even has a septic system, which is unusual for a river lot. So we were thinking about doing like an Airbnb thing, you know, get fixed up, and it's kind of expensive. I think we wanted to cut around $100,000 for it, and it's only just, well, it's a fairly big lot though. But it doesn't really have anything on it. So $100,000 for like a quarter acre. That's a lot of money. So do you rent an apartment or you stay on campus? Or?
Yep, I rent. I'm close enough to campus to walk.
Okay.
So
actually.
Hut.
Really enjoyed that.
Hut. Yep, great.
Yep.
Are your parents up this way, or?
I have grandparents in the state,
Okay.
but my family's still in Florida.
Hut. Every year in March, there's always a bunch of paddlers that go down to Florida to train. Those rivers look awesome. I've never been down there to be on the water, but the spring-fed ones with the manatees and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever been paddling on that?
Yeah, parents
But normally, during our spring break in March, it's warm enough to paddle up here. So it's sort of like, well, why do I want to go drive 20 hours before?
all the way down there.
Yeah. But it's a matter of just being around other people too, you know. But, and March is actually probably a good time of year for weather-wise, right?
Yeah, it is.
So you think you'll be at the makerspace for a while, or are you looking for other
Well,
work too? Or?
I don't think so. I'm making about as much as is expected as an average.
Yeah.
For industrial design anyway.
Yeah.
But I still think the degree is something that I should have just in case for later on. So
So you're going after your 4-year?
yeah, I'll
Okay.
be there chipping away at it
Okay.
for a little while.
Yep. That's the way to do it. And you know, you can go to Penn State for
75%.
75%. Yep. And you can start those classes anytime. If there's something you want to take that counts for your 4-year, or you know, that's what I did when I started teaching after I got my bachelor's. But you know, they hired me with very little experience, but my dad, they figured genetically I probably would do all right. So that's really anecdotal, right? There probably is no relation, but they figured something might rub off. Because my dad was there, you know, he was teacher of the year or master teacher or whatever. But you feeling okay?
Trying to get a light stick.
Okay, again, that's, you want to, so breathing probably is, not enough breathing may help that go away. But anyway, let's pull in here. I think I'm going to take a quick leak while we're stopping and throwing out the buoy. You have to go number 1 or 2?
Not yet.
Not yet? Wow. I'm just going to, oh, we're in. I guess I can toss it over there. How's it going, Ann? I'm going to toss you this buoy. And I guess I might as well grab the other one while I'm here.
Okay.
Since we're the sweep, we're bringing up the rear. Let's see if I can.
How's it going? Good.
Doing great. Like, he's a natural.
That's awesome.
Here, I'll try to get this. Very close.
That's close enough.
Can you reach that? Grab the metal. I'll grab. So did you ever jump off the Black Bridge first year?
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah, Father jumping down.
Look, Caleb's about that. Well, you might. No, he's not down.
What deeper back then?
I'm just backing up. Probably jump off the bridge, wouldn't you?
It doesn't look that bad.
You just have to find a deep spot, like right in here. Like
Right,
this,
yeah.
This is probably.
Yeah, people have a broken leg too.
Oh, yikes.
Now, when you jump off, do you normally go down to the bottom, or
Oh yeah, you go to the bottom.
you touch the bottom? But yeah.
Not quite deep enough to jump.
Well, especially now.
Well, you can just do a belly flop. It only hurts for like a minute.
Climb on
Right.
the side and jump through.
Oh. Well, maybe never jumped off of this bridge. I jumped off the bridge down there. That's way scary. This doesn't look that high, but they go up.
Oh yeah, they're by. Hey, there's a rock.
Yeah, watch out for that rock.
There's a buoy. They're giving me the buoy.
That,
We're doing this.
that wasn't the first
Okay.
rock this boat's ever hit. Will be the last. Okay, let
That
me
was
see.
Amy worried about, yeah.
Oh, watch your.
Go ahead and whale it. That'll do.
I broke it.
Bro.
My window weight. That's right, Caleb can fix it. He's a welder.
Oh yeah. I need some help now.
Yeah, you can just toss those in the van. Thank you, Ann.
Yep. Is that all of them? Or
I'm going to take this one
do you get another one?
and put it there by the. No, that's all I need to get. I need to set one in. Actually, that little piece of broken piece. I don't have a weight for this buoy, so that'll be a good thing I can tie on. I was going to grab a rock.
Ready to catch?
Yeah, I just got this.
I used to catch them.
Yeah, I still got all my teeth.
Yeah.
All right.
That was a long, long time ago.
Let's go forward and out of these rocks. I think we back up a little bit. So we got probably maybe a half hour to get finished and turn around. So I'll have a bunch of like power bars and stuff to grab for maybe something to eat. So this has been the location of a couple bridges. This is probably the second, maybe the third. So these little islands to the right are kind of left over from the prior bridge. This is great to snorkel. Have you doing much snorkeling? I haven't done it for a while, but it's so clear here that it's just fun. You know, if you have flippers or whatever. And you can see that rock to the left. That's kind of what you have to watch out for as you go through these ripples. There's little wrinkles in the water. But, so what we're going to do is just sort of follow this. Probably just sort of head. Trying to think of how what's the deepest. Normally, what you do is you're going downstream, but you try to read the river for the deepest. Oh yeah, sorry. Sometimes I say random huts. You want to look for the deepest part of the river where there's the most current, and that's probably where we're at right now. So we have pretty deep, and sometimes if you look at the leaves and stuff on the water, you can see if there's current. So we call this Red Hill because the rocks are kind of reddish. Hut straight ahead. And there's a family, Rice, hut that owns 3,000 acres. So everything you see is owned by Rice straight ahead. Amy's parents own a little ways up the mountain. We own a little bit. And then what we call the pool house is straight ahead. We own about 3 acres. But everything you see behind you, most of it is hut. And they actually have a caretaker. Just a guy that, I guess he works as a private investigator, but they kind of hired him to kind of manage if there's any sign of poachers or squatters or whatever, you know, he picks them off. And when Amy was growing up, it was really pretty much, whoever owned it really didn't manage access to it, but the Rice people kind of closed it off. and put, you know, gates across the roads and stuff. But anyway, a couple years ago, the guy came up and was asking us if we saw any poachers he was kind of looking for. We said no, and he gave him the story that, you know, we own this place, and she used to ride her horses on the trails. And 10 minutes later, he came back and gave her a key. He says, here, ride anytime you want to. You know, just no motorized vehicles. If you want to ride your horse, bike, there you go. Of course, but I think strategically, we're also caretakers in a way, because of course we have the contact information. If we see anything suspicious, you know, we can get it reported. So that's why this is so ideal for us. You know, we got 2,000 acres of private ground right adjacent to our property, both properties actually.